Hello, or should I just say, boy, oh boy, oh boy. I'm the Pageant Nerd, and just like you, I've been dumbfounded, whiplashed, and dizzy from all the stuff that's been going down lately in our beloved world of pageantry. So many of my esteemed pageant vlogging colleagues have been super quick off the mark, getting commentaries out on everything that's happened in recent weeks. Sadly, the time that I have to be the pageant nerd versus Roger, who has a full-time job, is nowhere near enough to keep up. Every time one of you has asked me in the past month or so to prepare a video on one hot topic of the moment, the next drama was just around the corner. The results from Miss Universe Philippines and the appointment of Miss World Thailand, then Miss Grand International's resignation, MGI's retaliation, Miss World's historic outcome, rumours about the reigning Miss Universe and its married co-owner, Khun Anne's latest dramas, all in the past 6 or 7 weeks. Where the heck do I start? And how do I find a way to cover all of this stuff in the most economical way so I can even come close to being up to date? Let's be honest, I'm way too far behind on a lot of this, and if it's one thing I've learned as the pageant nerd, it's that unless I'm getting my thoughts out there straight away, no one cares pretty quickly because they've moved on to the next tea spilling moment. Frankly, it's really and truly not why I love pageants. I'm personally not living for the latest drama, and I don't have my popcorn at the ready for the next juicy gossip. It's totally fine if you're into that. Well, it is to a point, except if it's at the expense of others. It was actually why I thoroughly enjoyed watching all the legitimate activities of a certain alpha pageant in a whole different light in recent weeks. More on that shortly. But in rapid fire, I'm going to give you my take on all these issues, but not merely recapping what's gone on. You know that already. I'd rather look at the longer term consequences of how all of this is realigning the stars of the pageant world. The stars being the pageants themselves. Before we get stuck in, I wanted to quickly mention that this is my first video I've released since I celebrated my 5th birthday as the Pageant Nerd. I uploaded my first ever clip as TPN in May 2020 as a pandemic project. As I mentioned recently on Instagram, my subs have grown a little slower by comparison to my colleagues, but I'm so grateful to every single one of you that's chosen to join me on this nerdy journey. The other bit of news was that the first episode of my brand new show on the awesome Queen Beauty Network streaming service recently launched. International Icons is a new interview style program where I'll be chatting one-on-one with reigning and former title holders. My very first guest was none other than the wonderful Jessica Lane, the reigning Miss Earth, and my fellow Aussie. So I thoroughly encourage you to check it out. And thanks to the QBN team for welcoming me into their family. Okay, there's a lot to go through on this shopping list, and I'm going to try and do each topic in a minute or less, so let's get started. It feels like an age ago that Ahtisa Manalo won the Miss Universe Philippines crown on May 2. It was her 3rd attempt at the ultimate national crown, having finished runner-up in 2018 and 2024, both times earning the right to represent her country internationally. She finished first runner-up at Miss International 7 years ago, and last year placed top 10, controversially, at the inaugural Miss Cosmo. Huge respect to Ahtisa for her persistence and the very best of luck in Thailand in November, hoping for a repeat of Catriona Gray's exploits in Bangkok. But in my opinion, and it's my opinion only, if the main goal for new National Director Ariela Arida is to take home the 5th Philippine Miss Universe crown, I felt there were stronger contenders in the 2025 class. And whomever the host nation selects to represent Thailand at Miss Universe 2025 will be a frontrunner. So many of their provincial delegates are absolutely stunning. A win on home soil is certainly possible this year, and with it, a Miss World, Miss Universe alpha double. To all but those in the know, the resignation of Indian Rachel Gupta from the title of Miss Grand International on May 28, amid allegations of theft, lack of financial support, and substandard living arrangements, came as a relative surprise. Not because it was unprecedented. Indeed, we've had a previous winner give up the crown mid-reign, exactly 10 years ago. And the story unfurled very similarly, both sides claiming they were the ones to end things, and then the pageant owners going on the attack to dirty the outgoing queen's reputation. Make no mistake, there are absolutely two sides to every story, and I don't necessarily believe either account of events 100%. But let's just say here, based on track record of MGI's behaviour, holes being poked in their explanations and commentary from others who no longer have any loyalty to the MGI organisation, I absolutely stand behind Rachel. My viewpoint is simple. Rachel put in an immense amount of effort in preparing to win her country's first gold crown, and it was more than apparent that her ultimately succeeding was a hugely cherished accomplishment. So for anyone to accuse her of not respecting the title or lacking the toughness to be an international title holder, let alone dismissing her tearful video explanation as calculated or worse still, totally fabricated, is invalidating a young woman's clear distress with the situation they've endured. It was encouraging to see the reigning queen from the Vietnamese-owned Miss Cosmo, Ketut Permata Juliastrid from Indonesia, come out in support of Rachel, knowing full well she'd attract her own criticism for wading into an issue unrelated to her. Nonetheless, that's the admirable actions of an empowered woman. The fact that only 2 of the top 5 of last year's Miss Grand International remain in good standing with MGI really says it all. This is not a pageant system that is building its credibility over time. It's destroying what little it had created through its previously harmless flashiness. For the owner of an international pageant to go on such a petty attack, resorting to made-up comments about Rachel's body odour, claiming that gay men working for MGI were repulsed by her displays of affection, and generally not sticking to the facts of the situation, did Papa Nawat no favours whatsoever. Having said that, CJ Opiaza richly deserves her opportunity to complete her reign as an international title holder, and I hope she gets as much good out of it as possible, which paves the way for her career moving forward. It actually pains me to see all of this drama happen, because after last year's impressive staging, I was hoping, clearly without much reason, that MGI was going to shed its trashy elements and evolve into a legitimate major international pageant. On the contrary, it appears Nawat's mind-boggling alignment with the Miss Universe organisation has gone to his head. Women's empowerment? Stop the war? I don't think so. This is literally the only news item I'm genuinely excited to discuss with you today. So much so that I'll give you a full video soon, my first ever Miss World recap. Stay tuned for that one. While as many of you know, I've followed Miss World for many years, but for me it's always played second fiddle to Miss Universe. And sadly, it's taken all the dysfunction happening elsewhere, including with Miss Universe, for me to truly appreciate the value, integrity and purpose of Miss World. The recently concluded Miss World Festival, yes, festival, staged brilliantly in India for a second straight year, made it clear this is how you honour and celebrate queens from all regions, not just those with certain hair and eye colour, and give them ample time over a month-long pageant to speak about their advocacies and demonstrate their talents in the fields of creativity, athleticism, speaking, social media, modelling, and of course philanthropy. It was as if Miss Universe's botched foray into continental queens last year spurred Julia Morley to show the world, the universe rather, how it's really and properly done. And to add the cherry on top of a spectacularly executed pageant, admittedly without much real competition on finals night, but I now fully understand that's not the point of Miss World. The cherry on top was the crowning of Opal Suchata as Thailand's first ever Miss World, the first successful crossover from Miss Universe to Miss World in 24 years. I wonder if Opal's still lamenting the loss of her Miss Universe third runner-up spot. I'm getting near the end of this recap, and to be honest, I'm kinda done. The latest dramas in Miss Universe land just add to an increasingly murky pond. Cast your eye back to November 2023, and in the moments before beloved then MUO president Paula Shugart got on stage during prelims to announce she was stepping down. They were the last moments of our innocent affection for Miss Universe. Well, mine at least. In the firm belief nothing or no one could shake it from its mantle as one of the biggest, best, and most respected pageants around. Of course, we had Hello Universe before then, but it was Paula who kept the ship steady and afloat. Without her leadership, it's sinking faster than JKN's share price. Speaking of which, the news that Anne Jakradutitip was stepping down from her executive positions in JKN Global Group amid her ongoing legal and financial troubles led many to assume her similar role as CEO of the Miss Universe organisation would also end soon. Alas, Miss Universe was quick to reiterate Khun Anne's dedication to empowering women and uplifting voices around the world is unwavering. You could hear the collective sigh of disappointment around the pageant world. The one and only other thing I want to say in this section is that I sincerely hope that any rumours about Raul Rocha, co-owner of the Miss Universe organisation, himself a married man, engaging in any form of physical relationship with the reigning Miss Universe, a woman significantly less than half Rocha's age, are just that, rumours. In any workplace, a person abusing their power and status over a much younger and more vulnerable employee is abhorrent. And this should be no different for Miss Universe, especially given its and every other pageant organisation's claims of women's empowerment. That phrase is becoming hollower and hollower the more we hear it in pageant discussions. All right, that's it for today's little TPN catch-up on all things WTF in the world of pageantry. As always, thanks for watching, and if you feel the urge, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and super thanks. I'll be back soon with my next video, but in the meantime, I'm the Pageant Nerd. Bye for now.